What if the person you trust the most is living a second life, wearing your face? That was the thought that split my world in two on a quiet Tuesday afternoon. The bank called me. Not a scam call. Not a wrong number. Not a sales pitch. A real bank. Our bank. And the woman on the line said something I still hear in my nightmares. "Ma'am, your husband is here with a woman who looks exactly like you." But my husband was supposed to be 3 states away, on a business trip. Before I go any further, let me pause right here for a second. Drop a comment telling me the time and where you're watching from right now. Like this video if you love deep, emotional stories. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. And share this with someone who might need to hear this story. Now, let me take you back to the beginning. Because this didn't start with a phone call. It started with trust. My name is Elena. I'm not rich. I'm not famous. I'm just a woman who believed she had a good life. I was married to Daniel for 11 years. 11 years of shared bills. Shared jokes. Shared dreams. Shared silence. Daniel was the calm one. The steady one. The man who always remembered passwords, oil changes, and anniversaries. He worked in corporate consulting. That meant travel. Lots of it. Hotels. Airports. Late-night calls. PowerPoint decks and client emergencies. And I never questioned it. Why would I? He always called at night. Always sent pictures of hotel rooms. Always complained about bad coffee and stiff beds. And every time he packed his suitcase, he kissed my forehead and said the same thing. "Just a few days, Ellie. Then I'm all yours again." I believed him. 3 days before the call, Daniel left early in the morning. Dark outside. Cold kitchen tiles under my feet. Coffee barely brewed. He wore his gray suit. The one I bought him for his birthday. He hugged me longer than usual. I remember thinking, why does this feel like goodbye? But I brushed it off. He grabbed his suitcase. Checked his phone. Smiled. "Chicago this time," he said. "Big client. Big money." I waved from the door like I always did. I had no idea. That man would soon be standing in a bank lobby, holding another woman's hand. A woman with my face. The phone rang at 2:17 p.m. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something told me to answer. "Hello." The woman's voice was professional. Calm. Polite. "Good afternoon. Is this Mrs. Daniel Hart?" I smiled. "Yes. That was me. This is Emily from Ridgeway National Bank." Still normal. Then she hesitated. That pause. That tiny pause. That's when my stomach dropped. "Ma'am, I don't want to alarm you, but your husband is currently at our downtown branch." I frowned. "That's not possible," I said. "He's on a business trip." Another pause. "He's here with a woman," she continued slowly. "And she looks exactly like you." I laughed. I actually laughed. "That's ridiculous," I said. "I'm at home. I've been home all day." Her voice lowered. "Ma'am, that's why I'm calling." My heart started pounding. "Why are you calling me?" I asked. She took a breath. "They're trying to make changes to a joint account. Large transfers. The woman claims to be you. She has your ID. Your signature." My legs went weak. "That's impossible," I whispered. "I'm holding my ID right now." There was silence on the line. Then she said the words that changed everything. "Ma'am, I think someone is impersonating you." I sat down hard on the couch. My house suddenly felt strange. Unsafe. "What does my husband say?" I asked. Her voice shook. "He's insisting she's his wife." I asked the question I was afraid to hear the answer to. "What does she look like?" Emily hesitated. "Same height. Same hair color. Same style. She's even wearing a ring identical to yours." My wedding ring burned on my finger. "She knows personal details," Emily continued. "Dates. Names. Security questions." I felt sick. This wasn't random. This was planned. I didn't tell the bank I was coming. I didn't call Daniel. I grabbed my keys and drove. Every red light felt like torture. Every mile felt unreal. My mind raced. Was he cheating? Was he scamming me? Was I losing my mind? I rehearsed what I would say, what I would scream, but nothing prepared me for what I saw. When I walked in, the room felt frozen. People were staring. I followed their eyes. And there they were. Daniel, my husband, standing at the counter, smiling, holding hands with a woman who looked like me. Same haircut, same posture, same smile, even the small scar on her chin. She turned slowly, and when our eyes met, she smiled, like she knew me, like she'd been waiting. Daniel looked up. His smile faded. His face drained of color. He let go of her hand. "Elena," he whispered. The woman beside him tightened her grip. And then she said something that made my blood run cold. "Daniel, tell her." "Tell me what? Who is she? Why did she have my face? And why did my husband look like a man caught between two lives?" For a moment, nobody spoke. The bank lobby felt too small, too bright, too quiet. Daniel stood between us like a man split in half. On his left, me. On his right, a woman wearing my face, my ring, my life. I took one slow step forward. "Daniel," I said softly. "Who is she?" He swallowed hard. His eyes darted between us like he was watching a car crash in slow motion. The woman tightened her grip on his arm. "Answer her," she said calmly. "She deserves to know." Her voice sounded like mine. That alone almost broke me. Before Daniel could speak, a man in a navy suit hurried over. "Ma'am," he said to me, "I'm the branch manager. Please, let's move this conversation into my office." People were already whispering. Phones were out. This was becoming a show. Daniel nodded quickly like a guilty child. The woman who looked like me smiled politely at the manager and said, "Thank you. This must be confusing for everyone." Confusing? I followed them down the hallway, my legs trembling with every step. Inside the office, the door closed behind us. Click. That sound felt final. The manager sat behind his desk. A cute little bit of body we have time to. Daniel sat in one chair. The woman sat beside him, leaving me to stand. No one offered me a seat. I didn't need one. I was too angry to sit. "Start talking," I said. "Now." Daniel rubbed his face with both hands. "Elena, I can explain." The woman crossed her legs. "He always says that," she added. I turned to her. "Don't speak," I snapped. "Not until I understand why you're wearing my life like a costume." She didn't flinch. She only smiled. "It's not a costume," she said quietly. "It's my life too." Daniel finally looked at me. His eyes were wet. "I didn't mean for this to happen," he said. "Not like this." My heart pounded. "Happen what?" I asked. He took a deep breath. "I'm married," he said. The room tilted. "You're married," I repeated slowly. "Yes. To me." He shook his head. "To both of you." Silence. The manager froze. The woman leaned back like she'd just won something. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because my mind refused to accept it. "That's not possible," I said. "Bigamy is illegal." Daniel whispered. "Not if it happens in different states, under different names." I stared at him. "What did you just say?" Daniel stood up and began pacing. "I met her first," he said, pointing to the woman. 16 years ago. In another city. Another job. My chest burned. "Then why did you marry me?" I demanded. He stopped. "Because I loved you," he said. She laughed. A sharp, bitter sound. "He told me the same thing," she said. Word for word. My hands clenched into fists. "How long?" I asked. Daniel hesitated. The woman answered for him. 11 years, she said. "Same as you." My knees nearly gave out. Same years. Same time. Same lies. The woman turned to me, her eyes soft now. "He travels a lot, right?" she asked. I nodded slowly. "So does he with me," she continued. "Different routes. Different excuses." She pulled out her phone. Showed me photos. Daniel at beaches. Daniel at dinners. Daniel celebrating anniversaries. Dates that matched mine. Same gifts. Same words in cards. Even the same pet names. "He's very organized," she said. I admired that. I felt sick. Every time he said he was working late, he was loving someone else. Every time he kissed me goodbye, he was heading to her. I finally asked the question that haunted me most. "Why do you look like me?" She paused, then reached into her bag. pulled out an old photo. It was me, or someone who looked like me. Younger, different haircut, but unmistakable. "We don't look alike by accident," she said. Daniel froze. "You promised," he whispered. She ignored him. "I found you," she said to me. "On social media. Years ago." My blood ran cold. "You copied me?" I asked. She shook her head. "No. I perfected myself. Hair, makeup, clothes. He has a type," she said. "And I learned to become it." The manager cleared his throat. "I need to understand," he said. "Why were you here today?" The woman smiled again. "Because it's time," she said. Daniel's eyes widened. "No," he said. "We agreed." She cut him off. "I'm tired of sharing," she said. "And I'm tired of lying." She turned to me. "One of us gets everything," she said. "The house, the money, the name." My heart pounded. "And the other?" I asked. Her smile faded. "Gets nothing." Daniel looked at me then. Really looked at me. "Elena, please," he begged. "We can fix this." Fix this? 2 wives. 1 man. Years of lies. I laughed through tears. "Fix what?" I asked. "Which life do you want?" He opened his mouth. Closed it. The woman leaned closer to him. "Choose," she whispered. The room felt like it was closing in. I held my breath. Because I already knew. Whatever he said next would destroy someone's world. Daniel finally spoke. And he didn't say my name. Daniel didn't say my name. That silence. That single pause. It felt louder than a scream. He stared at the carpet like the answer was written there. The woman beside him leaned in closer, her fingers brushing his wrist. A quiet reminder of the life he lived when I wasn't looking. "Daniel," I said, my voice shaking. "Look at me." He did. And in that moment, I didn't see my husband. I saw a coward. I need time," he said. "Time. After 11 years of lies. After 2 marriages. After standing between 2 women who shared the same face and the same pain." The woman laughed softly. "Time is just another excuse," she said. "Tell her the truth." Daniel closed his eyes. Then he said it. "I choose the life that doesn't fall apart." My heart cracked. "What does that mean?" I asked. He swallowed. "She knows everything," he said, nodding toward the other woman. "She's known for years. She accepted it." I stared at her. "You knew about me?" I asked. She nodded calmly. "From the beginning." The room spun. "And you stayed?" I whispered. "Yes," she said. "Because I loved him more than I hated the truth." I turned back to Daniel. "So you're choosing the woman who helped you lie to me?" I asked. He didn't answer. That was answer enough. The bank manager shifted uncomfortably. "Sir," he said, "this situation may require legal intervention." Daniel waved him off. "We're leaving," he said. "Leaving?" As if this were just a bad meeting. The woman stood, smoothing her jacket. She looked at me with something close to pity. "I'm sorry it ended this way," she said. "But I won." Won. Like I was a prize. Like my life was a game. As they walked toward the door, Daniel stopped. He turned back to me. "Elena, I never meant to hurt you." I laughed bitterly. "You didn't mean to," I said. "You just practiced it for 11 years. He flinched. "I'll take care of things," he said. "You'll be okay." I stepped closer. "No," I said quietly. "You don't get to decide that anymore." He hesitated, then followed her out. The door closed behind them. And just like that, my marriage ended. In a bank office. With strangers watching. I don't remember leaving the bank. I don't remember driving home. I only remember sitting on my bed, staring at the wall, replaying every moment of my life. Every smile. Every promise. Every "I love you." All lies. My phone buzzed. A message from Daniel. "I'll come by later to talk." I deleted it. Another message followed. "Please don't do anything rash." I laughed out loud. Rash. I was the one who had been blind. That evening, someone knocked on my door. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened it, there she was, standing on my porch. Alone. "We need to talk," she said. I wanted to slam the door. But curiosity stopped me. "You've said enough," I replied. She shook her head. Not yet. I stepped aside, against my better judgment. She sat across from me at my kitchen table. Same table Daniel and I had eaten dinner at for years. My name is Claire, she said. At least, that's the name he knows. I folded my arms. Why are you here? I asked. She looked down. Because he didn't tell you everything. My stomach tightened. What else is there? I asked. She met my eyes. He's in debt, she said. A lot of it. I felt a chill. How much? I whispered. She slid a folder across the table. Numbers stared back at me. Loans. Credit cards. Hidden accounts. 6 figures. He was trying to move money today, she continued. Not just to choose a wife, but to escape consequences. My hands trembled. Escape what? I asked. She hesitated. Fraud, she said. And he planned to leave one of us holding the mess. I looked up sharply. Which one? I asked. Claire sighed. You. My heart dropped. He needs a clean break, she said. Someone to disappear with. I felt sick. So why tell me? I demanded. Her eyes filled with tears. Because I finally realized something, she said. He doesn't love either of us. For the first time. She looked human. Broken. Just like me. Claire stood. You need to protect yourself, she said. He's dangerous when cornered. She walked to the door. Paused. If I were you, she added, I'd check your accounts. Tonight. Then she left. I rushed to my laptop. Logged into our bank. And what I saw next made my blood run cold. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely type my password. The glow of the laptop lit up the dark room. And for the first time in my life, my own house felt like a stranger's place. I logged into our joint bank account. The page loaded slowly. Too slowly. And then I saw it. The balance was wrong. Very wrong. I blinked. Refreshed the page. Checked again. The number didn't change. More than half of our savings was gone. Not spent. Not invested. Transferred. My chest tightened like someone had wrapped a rope around it. No, I whispered. I clicked on the transaction history. My heart pounded louder with every scroll. Transfers made late at night. Amounts just under reporting limits. Accounts I didn't recognize. This wasn't an accident. This was a plan. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the screen. Dates jumped out at me. Transfers made while I was asleep. While I was cooking dinner. While I was sitting on the couch next to him, watching TV. Every time I asked him, Are we okay financially? He smiled and said, Relax, Ellie. I've got everything under control. Lies. Every single one. My hands moved on their own. I opened the credit card accounts. My breath caught in my throat. Cards I didn't recognize. Balances I had never approved. My name. My social security number. My signature. Copied, forged, practiced. 6 figures. Debt tied directly to me. This wasn't just cheating. This was theft. I covered my mouth to stop myself from screaming. Daniel wasn't choosing between 2 women. He was choosing who to sacrifice. And he had chosen me. Because I was the wife who trusted him. The wife who never checked. The wife who believed love meant safety. My phone buzzed. Daniel. I didn't answer. Another call. Then a text. We need to talk. Please don't involve anyone. Involve anyone? My hands trembled as I typed back. Me, you already did. Seconds later, my phone rang again. I answered. What did you do? I asked. Silence. Then his voice soft, careful. You're overreacting. That word. Overreacting. Half our savings is gone, I said. There are loans in my name. Temporary, he replied. I was going to fix it. I laughed, sharp and broken. By running away? I asked. He didn't deny it. Listen to me, Daniel said, his tone changing. If you make this messy, you'll regret it. My blood ran cold. Is that a threat? I asked. It's advice, he said calmly. You don't want to ruin your life over emotions. My hands clenched. You already ruined my life, I said. I'm just waking up to it. He sighed. Think carefully, he warned. People like you don't bounce back from scandals. The line went dead. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, staring at the wall. Every sound made me jump. The house felt exposed. I checked the locks twice, then 3 times. I replayed Claire's words. He's dangerous when cornered. Was this what she meant? Near dawn, I remembered something. Daniel had always been careful with paperwork. Too careful. I walked into his home office. Opened drawers I had never touched before. Bottom drawer. Locked. I found the spare key taped under the desk. My heart pounded as I opened it. Inside was a folder labeled Backup. My fingers trembled as I opened it. Documents spilled out. Fake IDs. Alternate names. Different addresses. 2 passports. Not just 2 wives. Multiple identities. I felt dizzy. This wasn't just a double life. It was a network of lies. Then I found emails. Printed. Highlighted. Messages between Daniel and lawyers. Not divorce lawyers. Criminal defense attorneys. My stomach dropped. At the bottom of the folder was a handwritten note. Daniel's handwriting. Clear as day. If things collapse, Elena is the safest exit. She trusts me. She won't act fast. I collapsed into the chair. Tears streamed down my face. Not because I loved him, but because I finally understood. I was never his partner. I was his shield. As the sun rose, something inside me hardened. Fear turned into focus. Pain turned into clarity. I wiped my tears, stood up, and whispered to myself, "No more." I grabbed my phone and made my first call. Not to Daniel, not to Claire, but to someone who could protect me. The voice on the other end answered calmly. "This is Detective Morales. How can I help you?" I took a deep breath. "My husband isn't who he says he is," I said. "And I think he's about to disappear." Detective Morales didn't interrupt me. Not once. As I talked, my voice shook at first, then steadied. Because every word I spoke made the truth more real. I told him everything. The bank. The woman with my face. The missing money. The fake IDs. The note that proved I was meant to take the fall. When I finally stopped talking, there was a long silence on the line. Then he said something I didn't expect. "Ma'am, you did the right thing by calling." I closed my eyes. For the first time since the bank, I felt something close to relief. Detective Morales asked calmly, "Do you believe your husband knows you've discovered this?" I thought of Daniel's texts. His warning. His tone. "Yes," I said. "And I think he's scared." Another pause. "That's good," the detective replied. "Men like this make mistakes when they're scared." My stomach tightened. "What do I do now?" I asked. "First," he said, "do not confront him again. Second, secure your documents. Third, leave your house if you can. Leave. This was my home." But suddenly, it didn't feel safe anymore. I packed only what mattered. My passport, birth certificate, bank statements, the folder labeled backup. I didn't take clothes. I didn't take jewelry. Just proof. As I zipped the bag, my phone buzzed. Daniel again. "Where are you?" My heart raced. How did he know I wasn't home? I didn't reply. Then another message came in. "We need to talk face to face." I blocked his number. My hands shook as I did it. But once it was done, I felt stronger. I drove to my sister Maria's house. She lived 40 minutes away. Every car behind me felt suspicious. Every turn made my chest tighten. When I finally pulled into her driveway, I burst into tears. Maria opened the door and froze when she saw my face. "Elena, what happened?" I hugged her so hard my knees buckled. "I need you to trust me," I said. "And I need you to keep me safe." She didn't ask questions. She just pulled me inside and locked the door. That afternoon, Detective Morales came to Maria's house. He reviewed the documents. His jaw tightened as he flipped through the folder. "This is bigger than I thought," he muttered. I watched his face change as he read Daniel's handwritten note. "He planned this carefully," I said. "Didn't he?" The detective nodded. "Yes," he replied. "But careful men still leave trails." He looked at me. "Your husband isn't disappearing tonight," he said. "We're already watching him." My breath caught. Watching him how? Bank alerts. Travel records. Vehicle tracking. He's already triggered several red flags. I swallowed. "What about Claire?" I asked. The detective sighed. She's not as innocent as she wants you to believe, he said. But she's talking. That surprised me. Talking about what? Everything. That evening, an unknown number lit up my phone. I almost didn't answer. But something told me to. Elena, Claire said quietly. I know you blocked Daniel. I stayed silent. He's panicking, she continued. He thinks you've gone to the police. I smiled faintly. He thinks correctly, I replied. She exhaled sharply. Then listen carefully, she said. He's leaving tomorrow morning. My heart jumped. Leaving where? Out of the country, she whispered. He has a flight booked under a different name. I felt cold all over. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Her voice cracked. Because I finally understand who he really is, she said. And because if he leaves, he'll destroy both of us. I immediately relayed everything to Detective Morales. He didn't sound surprised. That matches what we're seeing, he said. Thank you. This helps. Will you stop him? I asked. We will, he said firmly. But I need you to prepare yourself. For what? For him to try one last move. That night I barely slept. At 2:48 a.m., my phone buzzed. A blocked number. I answered. Elena, Daniel said softly. Please. I just want to explain. My heart raced, but my voice stayed steady. You had 11 years to explain, I said. You don't understand, he insisted. I did this for us. I laughed quietly. No, I said. You did this to us. His tone shifted. Harder. Colder. If you don't help me, he said, you'll regret it. There it was. The real Daniel. Good luck, I replied and hung up. At dawn, Detective Morales called. He's on the way to the airport, he said. We're moving now. I sat on the edge of the bed, heart pounding. Is it over? I asked. Not yet, he said. But it will be. Hours later, my phone rang again. Detective Morales' voice was tight. Elena, your husband has been detained. I exhaled sharply. Then he added. But that's not the worst part. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? There was a pause. We found something else, he said. Something that changes everything. My hands went cold around the phone. What did you find? I asked. Detective Morales didn't answer right away. I could hear movement in the background. Doors opening. Voices murmuring. Then he spoke, slow and careful. Elena, your husband wasn't just trying to leave you. My heart pounded. He was trying to disappear, he continued. From people who were already looking for him. Daniel was stopped at the airport. Not dramatically. No shouting. No running. Just 2 officers stepping up to him while he stood in line, holding a passport that wasn't his. He didn't resist. That part hurt more than I expected. Because it meant he'd planned this ending too. He expected to be caught, eventually. Just not this soon. Detective Morales came to see me later that afternoon. He sat across from me at my sister's kitchen table. The same calm face. But his eyes were heavy. We searched his bags, he said. And his storage unit. I frowned. Storage unit? He nodded. Rented under another name. He slid photos across the table. Stacks of documents. Hard drives. Burner phones. And something else. Something that made my breath hitch. These are contracts, he said. Fraudulent ones. I shook my head. I don't understand. He leaned forward. Daniel wasn't just stealing from you, he said. He was stealing from companies. Investors. Even banks. My stomach dropped. How much? I whispered. He exhaled slowly. Millions. I felt dizzy. Then why me? I asked. Why keep me? Detective Morales looked at me carefully. Because you were his cover, he said. A clean identity. A normal life. A woman with no criminal record. The truth hit me hard. Every shared holiday. Every family photo. Every dinner with friends. All of it was camouflage. And Claire? I asked. She helped more than she admitted, he said. But she was also being used. I remembered her calm voice. Her quiet sadness. Victim and accomplice. Just like me, only I didn't know it. Detective Morales hesitated. That scared me more than his words. There's something else, he said. My hands clenched. Say it. Daniel had begun preparing replacements. I stared at him. Replacements for what? He met my eyes. For identities, he said. New wives. New lives. I felt sick. He was studying women online, the detective continued. Women who looked like you. Women with stable jobs. Clean histories. My skin crawled. You weren't the first, he said gently. And if he had escaped, you wouldn't have been the last. Later that night, Detective Morales asked if I wanted to see Daniel. I didn't, but I needed answers. So I said yes. The interrogation room was small. Cold. Daniel looked smaller too. No suit. No confidence. Just a tired man with shaking hands. He looked up when I entered. Elena, he whispered. I stayed standing. Why? I asked. Was I ever real to you? He laughed softly. A sad sound. You were the most real thing I had, he said. That wasn't comforting. That was terrifying. You used me, I said. He nodded. At first, he admitted. But then I needed you. Needed me for what? To believe I was normal, he said. I felt tears sting my eyes, but I didn't let them fall. You destroyed my life, I said. He shook his head. No, he said quietly. I gave you a chance to escape before I ruined it completely. I stepped back. You don't get credit for that, I said. As I turned to leave, I asked one last question. If the bank hadn't called, would you have left me with everything? He didn't hesitate. Yes. That answer freed me, because it meant none of this was my fault. Daniel was charged with fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy. Claire took a plea deal. The money wasn't all recovered, but enough was saved to keep me from drowning. The house was sold. The marriage erased. The name mine again. Weeks later, I sat alone in a new apartment. Smaller, quieter, safer. I made coffee and watched the sunrise. For the first time in years, my life felt honest. No secrets. No shadows. Just me. But as I checked my mail that morning, I saw an envelope with no return address. Inside was a single note, written in a handwriting I recognized. You were never supposed to find out this much. My heart stopped. I stared at the note for a long time. The paper felt thin between my fingers. Cheap. Ordinary. But the words on it were heavy. You were never supposed to find out this much. Daniel's handwriting. I knew it the way you know a scar on your own body. My chest tightened. He was in jail. Awaiting trial. Watched. So how could this be here? On my kitchen counter. In my new life? For a brief moment, fear rushed back in. The kind that makes your hands shake. The kind that makes you check the door twice. I walked to the door. Locked. Windows. Locked. I checked again. Still locked. I forced myself to breathe. He can't hurt you anymore, I whispered. But the note said otherwise. I flipped the envelope over. No return address. But there was a postmark. 2 days ago. From a city 3 hours away. My stomach dropped. Daniel had been in custody for over a week. Which meant he wasn't working alone. The call to Morales. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed my phone and called Detective Morales. I just got a letter, I said the second he answered. From Daniel. There was silence. Then, are you safe right now? He asked. Yes, I replied. But he shouldn't be able to send this. He didn't, Morales said quietly. My heart skipped. What do you mean? Daniel has associates, he said. People who helped clean things up. Move money. Deliver messages. The room felt colder. So this isn't over? I asked. It's ending, he corrected. But endings like this tend to fight back. Later that day, Morales came by with another officer. They photographed the note, bagged the envelope. Then Morales asked me something that made my pulse spike. Did Daniel ever mention someone named Marcus? The name hit me like a punch. Yes, I said slowly. He called him a consultant. A fixer. Morales nodded grimly. We thought so, he said. Marcus helped set up multiple identities. I swallowed. So Marcus sent the note? Most likely, Morales replied. On Daniel's instructions. I sank into the chair. Even locked up, Daniel was still trying to control the story, still trying to remind me he existed. A week later, Morales called again. Daniel has requested a meeting, he said. My first instinct was to say no. But then he added, he's offered information. Names. Accounts. Other victims. That word caught my breath. Victims. Plural. What does he want in return? I asked. Morales paused. To speak to you. Once. I closed my eyes. Part of me wanted to run. Another part wanted answers I might never get again. Okay, I said. Once. The room was different this time. More guards. Thicker glass. Daniel looked worse. Dark circles under his eyes. Shoulders slumped. When he saw me, he tried to smile. It failed. You look stronger, he said. I didn't respond. Why the letter? I asked. He sighed. I needed to know if you were still paying attention, he said. I laughed softly. You ruined my life, I replied. And you still think you deserve my attention? He leaned forward. You think this is about you, he said. It's not. My stomach twisted. Then what is it about? Survival, he said quietly. Daniel lowered his voice. Marcus is panicking, he said. He's destroying evidence. Cleaning house. I stared at him. Why tell me? Because, he said. If he goes down alone, he'll take someone with him. I felt a chill. You? I asked. Daniel shook his head. No, he said. You. Anger flared. You already tried that, I snapped. And I failed, he admitted. Which is why Marcus is angry. I stood up. This sounds like your problem, I said. Daniel's eyes softened. It was always our problem, he said. You just didn't know it. Before I left, Daniel slid a folder under the glass. I kept this hidden, he said. Insurance. I hesitated, then took it. What's in it? I asked. Names, he said. Dates. Shell companies. I met his eyes. Why give this to me? He swallowed. Because you're the only one I trust not to use it wrong. That almost made me laugh. Almost. The race against time. Morales reviewed the folder that same night. His expression grew darker with every page. This is huge, he said. And dangerous. Am I in danger? I asked. He didn't lie. Potentially, he said. Security was arranged. My schedule changed. My life shrank again. But this time, I wasn't blind. 2 nights later, I woke up to a notification. A news alert. Financial fraud ring exposed. Multiple arrests expected. I sat up, heart racing. Then my phone rang. Morales. We got him, he said. Marcus is in custody. Relief washed over me. Is it over? I asked. Morales exhaled. Almost, he said. There's one final step. The next morning, I was handed a subpoena. Not to testify against Daniel, but to testify about something else. Something I didn't even know I was part of. The subpoena felt heavier than paper should. My name printed neatly at the top. Black ink. Cold letters. Elena Hart, witness. Not victim. Not wife. Witness. I sat at my kitchen table staring at it, trying to understand how my life had turned into a legal document. You don't have to be afraid, Detective Morales said gently over the phone. But you do have to be honest. I laughed softly. That's the only thing I've been my whole life, I said. I just didn't know it. The courthouse smelled like old paper and quiet fear. Hard benches. Echoing footsteps. People whispering stories that could ruin lives. Mine was already ruined. Or so I thought. I sat in the witness room, hands folded in my lap, trying not to shake. A lawyer approached me. Mrs. Hart, she said kindly, today isn't about blaming you. It's about understanding how this happened. I nodded, but my chest still felt tight. When they called my name, my legs felt like they didn't belong to me. I walked into the courtroom. And then I saw him. Daniel, wearing an orange jumpsuit. Hands cuffed. No confidence. No charm. Just a man stripped of every mask. He didn't look at me. Not once. The prosecutor stood. Ms. Hart, she began. How long were you married to the defendant? 11 years, I answered. During that time, she continued, Were you aware your identity was being used in financial transactions you did not approve? I swallowed. No, I said. I trusted him completely. There it was. Trust. The word that built everything. And destroyed it too. Then the prosecutor said something that made the room go quiet. Ms. Hart, did you know there were businesses registered in your name? I froze. Businesses? I repeated. She nodded. 7 shell companies, she said. All linked to large-scale financial fraud. My head spun. I've never owned a business, I said. Exactly, she replied. Documents were projected on a screen. My name. My signature copied. My address. Contracts worth millions. I felt sick. Your identity, the prosecutor said, was considered clean. No criminal history. Stable employment. Trusted spouse. I understood then. I wasn't just a wife. I was a foundation. Over hours of testimony, the truth unfolded like a nightmare. Daniel used my identity to open accounts, secure loans, sign contracts. When something went wrong, he abandoned the shell and built another, all on my name, all without my knowledge. You were his safety net, the prosecutor said softly. His shield. I looked at Daniel. Finally, he looked back. And in his eyes, I saw it. Regret. Not for what he did, but for getting caught. Claire takes the stand. Then Claire was called. She looked different. Smaller. Tired. When she spoke, her voice trembled. I knew he had another wife, she admitted. I didn't know the full scale of what he was doing. She looked at me. I thought I was protecting myself, she said. But I was helping him destroy her. For a moment, our eyes met. There was no anger left in me. Just sadness. Then the defense stood. Daniel's lawyer. Smooth. Confident. Ms. Hart, he said. Isn't it true you benefited from this money? The question hit hard. No, I said firmly. I lived paycheck to paycheck while my husband hid millions. But you lived in a nice home, he pressed. A home I thought we could afford, I replied. Because my husband lied. The judge watched closely. The room held its breath. After hours of testimony, the judge leaned forward. Ms. Hart, he said, based on the evidence, this court recognizes you not as a co-conspirator, but as a victim of long-term identity abuse. I felt tears spill over. Not from pain, from release. For the first time, someone in power believed me. Daniel was found guilty on multiple counts. Fraud, identity theft, conspiracy. Sentencing was scheduled. As they led him away, he finally spoke. Elena, he said quietly. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. After court. Outside the courthouse, the sun felt warmer than it should have. Reporters shouted questions. I walked past them. I had no more stories to give. That night, I sat alone and thought about something Detective Morales once said. Endings like this tend to fight back. But this time, I wasn't running. I wasn't hiding. I was standing in the truth. Just as I started to believe it was finally over. My phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. You testified well. But the story isn't finished yet. My heart sank. The message sat on my screen like a ticking clock. You testified well. But the story isn't finished yet. No name. No number I recognized. Just a reminder. Daniel was behind bars. Marcus was in custody. The court had spoken. So who was still watching me? For a brief second, my heart tried to panic the way it used to. But something had changed. I didn't freeze. I didn't cry. I didn't doubt myself. I took a screenshot. Then I called Detective Morales. I just got another message, I said calmly. Someone says the story isn't finished. Morales exhaled slowly. I was afraid of that, he said. Afraid of what? I asked. Loose ends, he replied. Daniel didn't build his world alone. Some people are only now realizing they're exposed. My grip tightened on the phone. So what do? We let them make the next move, he said. And we watch carefully. 2 days later, it wasn't a message. It was a package. Small. Brown. No return address. My stomach twisted as I opened it. Inside was a flash drive. And a single sheet of paper. This belongs to you. Daniel never told you the whole truth. My heart pounded, because I already knew whatever was on that drive was going to hurt. I didn't open it alone. Morales insisted on being present. We sat in a quiet office, the computer screen glowing between us. I took a deep breath. Okay, I whispered. Let's see what my life really was. Morales plugged it in. Folders appeared, dated years back. One was labeled Elena Long Term. My chest tightened. He clicked. The recordings. Audio files. Video files. Dozens of them. Morales opened the first. Daniel's voice filled the room. Calm. Confident. Calculating. Elena is perfect, he said. She questions nothing. She believes love means trust. I felt sick. Another recording. As long as Elena exists, Daniel continued, I always have a clean exit. I covered my mouth. Years of my life. Reduced to strategy. Then came the videos. Daniel speaking directly to the camera. Older. Younger. Different places. Confessionals. Not for the police. For himself. People think monsters are loud, he said in one video. They're wrong. Monsters build families. Morales paused the video. Are you okay? He asked. I nodded slowly. I need to see it all, I said. Because I finally understood something painful. If I didn't face this now, it would haunt me forever. One folder was marked. Exit strategy final. Morales hesitated. You don't have to. Yes, I said. I do. Inside were documents dated after the bank incident. New passports. New names. And something that made my blood turn cold. A document titled, Contingency if Elena talks. I couldn't breathe. Morales read silently. Then looked up. He planned to frame you, he said quietly. Even after disappearing. I laughed bitterly. Of course he did. Even caught. Even exposed. Daniel's final move was still aimed at me. Morales leaned back. Whoever sent this, he said, did it to save themselves. I nodded. Marcus. Or someone like him. They weren't protecting me. They were protecting their own future. But for once, that worked in my favor. The final visit. A week later, Morales asked me something unexpected. Daniel has agreed to a final statement, he said. He wants you present. I closed my eyes. Why? I asked. Because, Morales said carefully. He knows you've seen the drive. My stomach tightened. And he knows he's out of moves. The last time I saw him, the room was silent except for the hum of lights. Daniel sat across from me. Older now. Smaller. No masks left. You saw it, he said. I nodded. All of it, I replied. He smiled sadly. Then you finally know who I am. I leaned forward. I always knew, I said. I just trusted the lie more than my instincts. That hurt him. I could tell. I never hated you, he said. You made me feel safe. I stood up. That was never my job, I said. He looked up at me. What will you do now? He asked. I didn't hesitate. Live, I said. Honestly. For the first time. He had nothing to say. When I left that room, something lifted from my chest. Not forgiveness. Not closure. Something better. Freedom. Weeks later, my life was quieter. No unknown messages. No strange packages. Just mornings. Work. Healing. But as I sat one evening, looking out the window, I realized something important. The story didn't end with Daniel. It ended with me choosing who I would become next. And that choice is the most important part of all. If you're still here with me, then thank you. Because this last part isn't about Daniel. It's not about the woman who looked like me. It's not even about the crime. It's about what survives after betrayal. And what must be rebuilt, slowly, painfully, honestly. For a long time, I believed love meant not asking questions. I believed trust meant silence. That being a good wife meant being easy. That loyalty meant swallowing doubt. I thought love was staying calm when something felt wrong. I thought love was believing explanations that didn't make sense. I thought love was ignoring the quiet voice inside me that kept whispering. Something isn't right. I was wrong. Love is not blindness. Love is not fear of conflict. Love does not require you to shrink, to doubt yourself, or to give someone else permission to erase you. Real love invites questions. Real love leaves space for honesty. Real love does not need a double life to survive. If you ever feel like you're disappearing to keep someone else comfortable, that is not love. That is control. The hardest lesson wasn't that Daniel lied. It was this. I ignored myself long before he betrayed me. Every time my gut tightened, and I laughed it off. Every time I chose peace over truth. Every time I trusted words instead of patterns. I wasn't stupid. I wasn't weak. I was conditioned to believe my intuition was too much. It wasn't. It was trying to save me. To anyone watching this right now, if you're watching this and something inside you feels uneasy, if you're making excuses for behavior you wouldn't accept from a stranger, if your reality keeps shifting to fit someone else's story, please hear me. You are not crazy. You are not dramatic. You are not overthinking. You are waking up. And waking up is uncomfortable. But it is the beginning of freedom. I lost a marriage. I lost years of my life. I lost the future I thought I was building. But I gained something far more powerful. My name. My voice. My boundaries. My truth. I gained the ability to trust myself again. And once you have that, no one can ever fully control you again. Daniel spent years stealing identities. But in the end, he lost his. Because the truth always costs liars more than it costs the people they try to destroy. Always. My life is quieter now. No secrets. No pretending. No constant second-guessing. Just peace. And peace, I've learned, isn't boring. It's safe. The moral lessons of this story. Here is the truth I want you to carry with you after this video ends. Trust patterns, not promises. Silence is not the same as peace. Love should never cost you your identity. And your intuition is not your enemy, it's your protector. If something feels wrong long enough, it usually is. A message from my heart to yours. If this story touched you, if it reminded you of someone you know, or if it helped you feel less alone, please don't keep it to yourself. Like this video so more people can find it. Comment your thoughts, I read them, and your voice matters. Subscribe for more real, powerful stories like this. Share this with someone who might need the courage to listen to themselves. You never know whose life might change, because you chose to pass this story on. Final word. My story didn't end when the bank called. It began the moment I chose myself. And if you're watching this right now, maybe yours is beginning too. Thank you for staying with me until the end.